Hi everybody, my name's Nicola, or simply a Stitcher, and welcome to my channel. This is Flosstube number 4. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back, and if you're new here, welcome. This is a channel that's primarily about cross stitch. Today I have some whips to show you, a tiny bit of haul and a life update. So let's just pile straight on in there. It's July the 1st, it's not even 6 a.m. This is the best time for me to film. I'm in a new spot. This is my stitchy stash, and there's another completed project there, look, as well, little Minnie Mouse that I did a few years ago. So I figured that I'd take on advantage that everybody's asleep. I've got a really busy day ahead, but it's the 1st of July and I wanted to do a June update before I put another single stitch in any of my pieces. So what have I been up to this month? So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen some updates that I have put out on there recently, but today I'm going to show you some and give you some figures. So the first piece that I've worked on is my brother's motorcycle. Last month I wanted to get to 50% and I finished the month at 38.69%, which was a little disappointing, I have to admit, though I didn't meet that 50% goal. However, this month I have met that goal and I've smashed it, so we've gone over 50%, and this is how it looks now. You can see those beautiful greens, and I'm starting on the white for the next section here. There's a lot of white in this. I don't mind stitching the white, we're just putting that out there. I don't mind block stitching, so yeah, he loves it. It's looking really good. What I've pledged to do, I talked last month about having a day on this, a day on something else, a day on this, a day on something else. I scrapped that. You know what it's like, best laid plans never works. What I've done is I've done at least 500 stitches a day on this. Some days it's been more, some days, but every day I've gone over that 500. It's averaged over 500 stitches, which I'm really happy with, because now at almost 53% completed, I'm really pleased. It's looking so good. You know, he like I said, he loves it. It was featured on my Stitch With Me this month. I had a few technical issues with the sound, so everything I was saying in that I'm going to have to say here, but you know, and I really received some really lovely comments about it, which was fabulous. Thank you for that. So that was the main piece that's my main focus piece that I've worked on. Now the second piece that I worked on is only a little bit of progress on this one, and that is the Maui Princess, which is the Heaven and Earth design. Let's just find the photograph. I've dropped it now. It's all going great. For 6 a.m. it's fabulous, isn't it? So what have I done here? No, that's not. There we go. I keep touching the screen. So it's this piece. It's the Heaven and Earth Designs. It was a freebie chart. I think it's still in the freebies section. Pick it up. Now, last month I was at 1.54% completed, and I haven't done much more this month, but I'm still working on just on these two colours, and I've filled in some more on this side here. So we're now at 2.02% completed, and this one is, I think I'm going to work on this one today, in between my regular job, my work, because last couple of days my eyes have been very tired, and stitching white has not been good for me. So I think this one's going to get a little bit of extra time today, and then pick up the bike to do the 500 stitches in that a little bit later. So that's the Maui Princess. The other piece I've worked on, which I don't actually count in my monthly stitches, is Pandemic. Yes, I actually picked up Pandemic. Me and my husband had a little weekend away, which I'll cover in my life update. And I had to take something with me. You can't just, go off and, away from home knowing that there's a drive involved and not take something with you. So I grabbed a hold of Pandemic and I thought, yep, I'll take that. And the last time you guys saw this on my stitch with me, I was working on these flowers. I was in this section here, and now I've done sort of this bit, and I've completed these 2 flowers, and I'm filling in some more of this border, and I think I've come down a little bit and done a bit on this bottom as well, but I can't remember. Whatever, it adds up to a little bit of progress, and oh gosh, and now this is page, I can't remember. It's progress, and I've put in, I think, about 4 strands. Doesn't sound like a lot, and I get that, but when I was away I was watching a YouTube live stream, and I thought, yeah, I'll just, Andy had gone off out filming for his channel, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to get this out and sit and do a little bit of YouTube, because I'm not the kind of person for pubs or anything like that, so I just thought I'll sit and stitch while it does that. So that's that. And the last project I worked on is one that I wanted to show before I actually start working on it again, and you'll see why in a minute. It's the Emma Congdon piece, the Stitch Rovia piece called City of Love, and I haven't got the pattern with me. I'm working this off the paper pattern, but I have got to 50%. Yay me! So we are halfway there, guys and girls, with this one, and obviously because it's in the scroll frame, I need to roll this frame up so I can start on the other 50%. So of course the next time I show it, the next Flosstube, there's not going to be any of this stitch area visible because it's all going to be up here. So I wanted to show it. I didn't want to sort of, just carry on stitching until I'd shown it at this. But look at it, isn't it gorgeous? I love the colours, and every so often in the windows you'll see some little people, and there's bits of greenery and green trees and so on, and it's lovely. I've properly enjoyed stitching this. So out of all the pieces, this is the largest one in terms of fabric count, fabric size, the largest square to stitch on. The Maui Princess and the bike are both being done on 25 count, 1/1. Pandemic is being done on 28 count, 1/1. This little beauty is done on 14 count, 2/1. So in terms of stitching, this one is so easy on the eyes, and I can get loads and loads done. I can do 500 stitches on the bike and then put in 800 on this without sweat, and still have time to spare. It's that kind of stitch. It's so nice and it's easy to do. So I'm loving it. And the good part is, as I said on my last video, I will have to do this one twice because one of my friends has requested that I do this for her too, because she has Italian connections, and I'm just so excited to stitch it again. So that's that. So I have a few stitchy stats to share with you, because I know some people like the numbers, and to be honest with you, so do I. I get that. Let me find my pages here. I had to use this is my little stitchy record sort of book, and I had to use this week because I had a little unexpected training course, so I've got loads of training notes in the middle of it. But oh, excuse me, that's my morning coffee. Oh, right, okay. So in June I aim to do 32,000 stitches. Didn't get that far. The reason will become clear when I do the life bit. I actually did 27,944, so that's a shortfall of 4,056. It's not terrible, but I will be adding those on to my July aims and hoping that I can get 36,000 done in July. Let's see, because again, when we talk about the life thing, you'll see where there might be a problem with that, but you know, anyway. Where's my other notes? So I am doing the Stitch Around Iceland. And the Stitch Around Iceland, the annual total to do for the one that I'm doing is 383,600 stitches. So at the start of the year, to meet that goal, I needed to be stitching an average of 1,050 stitches a day. My average at the moment, 181 days of the year, and with the stitches that I've done, is 1,034. So I'm coming up a little bit short. There's 184 days left, and there are 196,440 stitches left on Stitch Around Iceland. So to make that Stitch Around Iceland goal, the average that I need to put in is 1,067 stitches a day. Now, those of you that have watched me before will know that because I work from home, I actually get the chance to do a lot more stitching. I'm an early riser, so you know, from 5 a.m. I'm getting up. Usually at this time I'd be stitching away until sort of 7 o'clock when I'm waking the girls up, and I could probably do 200 to 300, you know, without even thinking about it. First thing, I stitch on my dinner break, and then I stitch in the evening as well. So at the minute, I've got plenty of time because I'm saving up to 3 hours a day in travelling, because now I'm not office based anymore. So getting that 1,000 stitches in has actually been doable, dependent upon the project. If it's that very confetti heavy, then you know it's not doable, and I'll do 200 or 300 stitches of confetti and then I move to a project with a lot of block stitching, or move to an area on the same project with block stitching so I can meet that goal. And it's all about balance. It's finding the right project to do, and you know, do it in the right way, I suppose, so that I can meet my goal. It's kind of like a personal thing that I want to do this, and that's that. Okay, so haul, only a tiny bit of haul today, and I did talk about this in my Stitch With Me, but because I had some technical problems, the Stitch With Me ended up having to be overdubbed with music, because I don't know why. I have a webcam and there was a lot of interference on it, because I listened to it back before Andy puts on the front card and the end card for me, and I wasn't happy with that, and it would have been so distracting. So I just said to him, I said, look, put some music over it, and what I was talking about there, I'll talk about in my Flosstube. So here we are. Tiny bit of haul. Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale on, so I picked up something that I've been coveting for a little while. You've heard, I'm pretty sure that you guys who've listened to me before have heard me talk about, certainly in my last Flosstube, that I want to do some lives, like Karen did, the Needlebug, and there's one or two other people that are doing live stitching on YouTube. You may not, it might have been in the overdubbed video thinking about it, but you know. And if when I get to 1,000, I do want to start to do some live stitching. So I thought to myself, what's the biggest challenge that I can give myself? And the biggest challenge I can give myself is a long-term project. So, Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale on. It was a 50% off, I think it's a 4th of July sale or something. I think it is. So, I immediately logged on and went and had a look and to see about this chart that I've been coveting. Now, I love the work of Leonid Afremov. I just love the colours and the painting style and stuff. But I've never stitched a piece of his. I've seen them being stitched. There's one or two people who I know are stitching them right now. And I thought, well, you know what? If you're going to do that, let's go all out. Let's go supersize max colour. So that's what I did. And I found a chart on the site that I wanted. And it's this one. It's called Night Cafe. And I think it's 999 by, I think 991. So it's nearly 1 million stitches, which will keep me going for a little while. I'm hoping to do it on 20 count. So I've got some 20 count. It just depends if the width is wide enough that I can do this on. But I thought to myself, you know what? When I reach that magic 1,000 and I start doing lives, let's have this one. Let's do this. You know, it's probably going to take me, Stitch Around Iceland's 400,000 stitches, and that's going to be a year. So with this one being nearly 1 million, if I stitched at the same rate and just stitched on this piece, that would take 2.5 years, nearly 3 years. But of course I've got stuff to do in between because the bike's a commission. There's another commission in the pipeline as well. And I like to stitch my other stuff for pleasure. You know, I've got the Emma Congdon, I've got another one of those to do. I've got the Realm of Middle-earth, the Realm of Middle-earth map, which is on the go as well. So I would imagine this one, you're looking at a good 5 years to complete this. You know, and I can't wait because I love it. So, you know, so I figured that once I get to that magic figure, that magic number, this would be an ideal way to spend my future time on YouTube. Still do floss tubes and stuff like that, but you know, because I can stitch early in the morning, there's no reason why I can't set it up and do a live first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening. You know, it really doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's that. Speaking of the channel, again, thank you to everybody who's subscribed. I've seen my numbers slowly going up this month. I've got about 340 something subscribers now, which is marvellous. And thank you very, very much. All of those down there who've hit that button. You know, you're all on my Christmas card list. Not that I send Christmas cards, but you know. And it's really nice to have such positive comments. I've put out a couple of videos where I've kind of addressed stuff that's not great, and the positivity that's come back to me is marvellous, and I thank you all. If you take the time out to comment, I will usually respond, but at least by putting a heart on the comment. Occasionally I'll comment back depending on what the content of the comment is, if it needs a reply. But you know, I do read them all, and I love it. You know, it's like another little family out there that I've got. So that's the stitchy stuff all out of the way. If you've just come here for that, which I absolutely get, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on the next Stitch With Me or Flosstube, depending on which one that you kind of pick up and watch. So now we're going to move on to life stuff. Excuse me. Have a quick drink of coffee and then we'll get on with it. Oh, morning coffee. It's like nectar of life. It's like the elixir. Okay, so life stuff. Took the little one to London. Had a fabulous time. It's nearly a month ago now since we went, because it was literally just after the last Flosstube. Got on the train. It was really nice because she actually didn't look at a phone all the way down. She was looking out of the window on the train. We got to London, checked into the hotel, which was very nice, in King's Cross. Went off travelling, the tube, the tapping in, tapping out on the escalator, stand on the right. It was marvellous. She became kind of pretty much an expert at that. Cost me a fortune in the platform and 9 3/4 shop, because she's Harry Potter mad. Then Leicester Square to the M&M shop, Oxford Street, Primark, Lush, which she calls being battered in the face and abused by soap. If you've never been in a Lush shop in the UK, it's an actual cosmetics shop, and the smell is just huge, and it literally does hit you when you walk in. Excuse me. Bit of a tickle this morning. And we did like Oxford Circus, Carnaby Street, Covent Garden, the Embankment, the River Thames, Tower of London, Tower Bridge. We packed in quite a lot. Didn't find many problems with COVID, except obviously that whenever you're on public transport, whenever you're on the tube, you have to wear a mask. But the tube wasn't particularly busy, and whichever journey we took, we got a seat, which was really nice. Even in rush hour, London is not as busy, which is quite, in a way, it's quite sad to see, but kind of made the trip a little bit better, because we're not, on a tube being squished up or pushed out, and we didn't get lost from each other, and so it kind of did make a difference. I noted from a couple of the tube stations that we went in that Crossrail stations are well underway. Construction is pretty much, it's almost there. I have a kind of a bit of a nerdy sort of fascination with the tube, I have to admit. So it was quite interesting to see where London's coming along in terms of construction. We ventured as far down as the South Bank and Borough Market and the bottom of the Shard, and looked up at it, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's huge." And I said to her, somebody actually Spider-Man'd up the outside of the Shard a few years ago, and she went, "What? How could they?" She was just, sort of a bit agog as to how that they could have done that. But yeah, it was nice to get away, a few days away. It really was. And I took a couple of little kits with me, like cover kits, and did a few stitches, but nothing really to write home about. When we got back to the hotel, we were both knackered and feet hurting, and we just wanted to kind of eat and sleep, sort of thing. So that was that, and she'd go again, I'm pretty sure. She just, it was kind of like a world of wonder. You can go into a city and find a big building, but you can't go into a city like London and see the big buildings, because they are, oversized, huge, enormous, in comparison to some of our smaller cities here in the UK. So that was the first kind of trip that I had this time, this month. So the second thing that's happened is middle daughter. Things are improving. It's just really a case of life pootles on, and we just carry on as we were. She's here, she's home, She wasn't for quite a while. There was some concerns about her, but we seem to be getting the top side of that. Then I had another trip away. Last weekend the husband said, "What time do you finish work today?" This was on Saturday. I'm like, 2 o'clock. I was like, right, we're getting in the car, we're going away. Okay. Now, if you know me in real life, if you knew me in real life, if you could sort of sit and talk to me, about anything and everything, you'd find out quite quickly that for me, my spiritual home is the sea. I just love the sea. Whether it's the Irish, the North, the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, the Black, whatever, it's sea. It's the look, it's the smell, it's the sound of the waves, it's that calmness. It kind of makes me feel calm. I love the sea. And he says, right, we've got a night out away. Okay, where are we going? Well, it wasn't too far. It's about an hour and a half away, a place called Withensea, which is on the east coast of the UK. It's in the East Riding of Yorkshire or Humberside, depending on what you call it. I don't do the geography stuff. That's Andy's department. And we got to Withensea, and it was a beautiful sunny day, not too hot, and went and got fish and chips and sat on the beach and watched the sea and listened to the waves. And there were kids there running about, living their best lives. There was this dog that was just playing with its frisbees. It was just having a blast, and it was just so nice just to sit at the sea and just relax. And we went and played in the amusements and, bought rock for the kids and, all the other bits that you do when you're at the seaside, no matter how old you are. This is when I took Pandemic with me and caught up on a bit of Flosstube, and Andy went off filming because we didn't actually stay in Withensea itself. We stayed in a village just outside, and I said to Andy, well, look, fair's fair, you've brought me here to the sea, you go off and do a bit of filming and I'll just catch up on my Flosstube. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really, I'm just so proud of what he does, and he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. So he went off and did that. So that put paid to stitching really for kind of 4 days throughout the month, which is probably why I'm about 4,000 stitches down. It kind of tallies, doesn't it? What else to tell you? Oh, this coming month, I don't know if I'm going to meet this £36,000 goal. That's £36,000. Listen at me. 36,000 stitch goal. Because this month we're going to a wedding. One of our friends is getting married over in Northern Ireland. So we're off to Belfast the 18th, 19th, something like that. And we're going to have a week out there with the children on like a holiday, because it's really the only one that they're going to get. Can't go abroad, with the pandemic and stuff. I suppose we could, but it's not easy at the moment. And every time you book, it's kind of risky. So we figured that, kind of domestic travel's the next best thing. So we're off to Belfast. We fly over there on the Monday, the wedding's on the Wednesday, and then we come back on the Saturday. So me and Andy went to Northern Ireland last year for our wedding anniversary, and we said that we would go to the Giant's Causeway with the children. We were going to go back then, but it was September and the weather was horrendous, and I could not walk the half a mile or whatever it was to the Stones in driving, pissing down rain, where I was wet through anyway, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. So hopefully in July the weather's going to be so much better, and we said, you know, we obviously when we go across with the girls, we'll take them. We'll go to the causeway. We're around sort of Antrim, Derry, you know, that sort of kind of bit of Northern Ireland. So we'll get to go and have a little mooch, as it were. And obviously Belfast itself as well, which is lovely. You know, as a city, Belfast is lovely. You know, a couple of nice sort of shopping centres and shopping areas, and it's clean and it's pleasant, and the people are lovely. So, you know, we're quite looking forward to that. We've all got new dresses, well, apart from Mandy, obviously. The girls and I have got new dresses, and you know, we can't wait. I love a wedding. I don't go to many. So yeah, so that's this next month. I have no plans to get any home, but I say that every month anyway. So my plans for this coming month are keep working on the bike, keep plugging away as much as I can at that. Let's get the back broken on it and get it towards 3/4 done. The sooner I get that one off the hoop, the sooner I can put my next commission on there, which is somebody's dog. Keep working on the Emma Congdon piece, start on the second half of that, and pick up Avarice this month if I can, because I've not picked her up for 2 months now. 2 months. It's really naughty, isn't it? Pandemic, I'll try and keep putting an odd strand in here and there. And sort out some fabric, I think, for the Afromov, even though I'm not planning on doing it yet. If I can get the fabric sorted, then that'll kind of make me happy, because it's there and it's ready, and I like sort of to be ready. This is kind of my stitchy corner. I've got 4 of these big totes. This one's full of thread and spare thread and thread that's, you know, on cards that's been left over from kits. The second one has got some older whips in it, but we're not talking about that. The third one down is full of kits, and the fourth one is full of patterns. Then I've got cover kits that have got the pattern with them. No, that haven't got the pattern with them, and little cover booklets and pattern booklets that you get off magazines. I've got cover kits with the patterns. I've got oddments in here, all the other bits that doesn't have a home anywhere else. And I've got some fabric. This is fabric, or offcuts of fabric. The little set of drawers is patterns. I've got the Roma Middle Earth pattern in there, and you know, patterns, paper patterns where I've completed them and they're just printed on A4 paper are in there. The little box is a whip. There's some whips in there, little cover kit whips. I've got my Paco needle organiser. These are my other bits of stuff. Stuff. We'll just call it stuff. Everybody has cross stitch stuff. I don't care who you are. The stuff that doesn't pigeonhole. And you know, obviously the other bits are kind of like just my trinket shelves and, you know, odds and stuff. Beer pong cup. Don't ask why I have a beer pong cup. Stuff that the kids have made at school. Hannah's jewellery box. Father's Day was Father's Day here in the UK, so Andy got a couple of cards. Minnie Mouse that I stitched for this one, the littlest, who is now a lot bigger than this. She's 12. So yeah, so I think I might Flosstube from this spot in future. let me know what you think. It might be better than sort of from the bedroom, because I'm kind of sat on my comfy sofa and I'm not bouncing like I am on the bed. And here I can do this first thing in the morning. I've got good natural light coming in, and I've got no kids around me. I don't have to sort of close the door and say, shh, I'm doing a floss tube, and have the window open and have dogs barking and, you know, noise from mowers and stuff out the back. So I think this might be the way to go in the future. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I haven't brushed the hair yet today. I've just re-tied it back, and I was going to film this in my pyjamas, the ones that say growing up is overrated, but I decided not to. Y'all don't need to see that. So I think that's about it. So haul whips. Yeah, I think that's about it. It's been great to have your company again, and thank you very much again for joining me today. And again, if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new here, welcome, and do please think about hitting that there subscribe button and the bell, and then you'll get notified when I upload a new video. All that's left for me to say is I will see you all next time, hopefully for a stitch with me before we go off for the wedding, and keep stitching what you love, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do take care. Bye now.